Hey everybody, it's me, V the Sepia Scholar, and I'm dropping in to do a couple videos before I go on vacation. Heads up, I'm going on vacation for the whole week. So only time I'm probably gonna drop in is to do P Valley because we're back to the valley where the girls get naked, and it's gonna be on Friday. I'm gonna try to give you guys a video on Saturday. But what are we here for? We're here for Married at First Sight season 14 reunion part 2. And guess what? I'm not going I'm not going to probably drop a video for the Where Are They Now because I'm finally done of episode 356, 465, quadruple to the power of 6 divided by 2 episode of this damn season. I'm over it. And they're already showing the next season, which is starting in July. And the first episode of the next season is 3 hours long. Y'all, I don't know if I could do it. I might do it for y'all because I love y'all. And with that being said, I hope this video finds you blessed, loved, and happy. So much happened in this reunion, even though we didn't need this part 2. When I say so much happened, it was so much revealed that was more interesting than what happened during the actual season. But then it wasn't really giving much. I give it 2 out of 5 Smarties. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit this intro so we can get into it. And yes, this is a rant, not a review. Yeah, I might have a couple notes here and there, but I'm going to be all over the place because guess what, y'all? I'm done. We done. If you want me to watch the Where Are They Now, let me know in the comments. But if I don't get any comments saying you guys want me to watch Where Are They Now, I am done with this, y'all. I'm done with this. I'm dropping another video for Put a Ring on It with some pure. You see how my eyes got big? Pure effery and shenanigans. So let me hit this intro and we'll talk about Married at First Sight. Like the intro says, this channel is about reactions, reviews, and grown-up conversations. I'm actually going to debut me watching Shatta's, which was a Hood Island classic, with my boy Jay Moore. But either way, we're talking about Married at First Sight. I want to get some things off my chest before I forget them, and then we can go through the notes. But we found out what the mystery stain in Olajuwon's underpants were on the first night they got married. He claims a pin bursted in his pants, and that's what got on the back of his undies. It wasn't boo-boo, y'all. I don't know. Also, the other thing is we found out that Katina actually is making gourmet dinners. He went from telling her she wasn't making edible food in the decision day. He told her her food wasn't edible before they both said yes, to saying she's making him lobster tails, make it make sense. Maybe she's been watching freaking I don't know if y'all remember Nigella Bites, but that was my favorite cooking show with her British, so she was wonderful to me. But anyways, maybe she's been watching cooking shows. Maybe Olajuwon was exaggerating. I don't know. Lindsay spit on Mark the Guppy. She spit on him, y'all. She would have caught these hands. I'm sorry. I don't condone violence. But anyways, she would have caught these damn hands if she would have spit on me. Steve and Noy apparently didn't like each other in the beginning. They didn't like each other. And the ladies all lied about saying that they didn't care that Steve didn't have a job. So it was all over the damn place. Let me see. Is there anything that was exciting now? Oh, Jasmina and Michael broke up over a damn laptop. We all know that's lies. She wasn't attracted. And I told y'all I'm not here for Jasmina. She's pretty, but I'm not here for her. She was just as bad, if not worse, than Alyssa. She had no intentions of ever being with Michael. And Dr. Viviana, this is probably her last season. Devon Franklin and Pia, I forgot what her last name is, but she's a sex expert, is coming on. They're making it more Hollywood. They already showed the next season. So that was some of the highlights, but let's get into the notes. Let me put up my pics. I took time to pull some pictures for you guys. You know, we got the guys up top. They had their little group session. They had a session with ladies, and then they had a session with the experts, and then they kind of went through individual couples that were in trouble. So let me go ahead and get into these notes, y'all. So, before I get into these notes, I wanted to show you guys this. It's so funny. You know, they talk about, I just remembered. Sorry. I'm still convinced that Lindsay and Olajuwon would have been a better match based on this reunion part 2. How they're DMing each other, giving each other advice. He's the Lindsay whisperer, getting her to apologize to Mark at the end. They belong together, and Katina and her new Egyptian wig is just a way to. I mean, she's better looking than Lindsay. But speaking of how Lindsay looks, Lindsay, I kept trying to figure out who the Lindsay looked like. And if you ever watched this show, I'm about to show my age, Grace Under Fire, back in the 90s, she looks like Brett Butler. And I went and found a picture of Brett Butler for you guys. Let's share that screen so you can see. Let's find Brett. Y'all, tell me that doesn't look like Lindsay. Drop it in the comments. Tell me it doesn't look like Lindsay. When I first saw her, that is what I saw. I saw Brett Butler. So Lindsay's not a bad looking girl. She just looks a mess because she always looks disheveled. Just saying, but not saying. So let's get into the notes. Hit a couple of little highlights. I told you guys this is going to be a rant and not an actual full review because I'm done with this. I've had enough. So anyways, we start off the show with the girls. We start off with the ladies chat. The episode opened up with a discussion between all the brides who got candid about their own bonds and relationships. And they built their matches. They agree that the first impressions of each other were relatively positive, but Lindsay makes a comment about how Alyssa blocked her on social media. Jasmina chimes in, noting that she has unfollowed Lindsay but didn't block her. Meanwhile, Noah was surprised that Jasmina and Michael didn't make it, and Lindsay and Jasmina have become fans of Olajuwon since his improved treatment of Katina following the show. So basically, the girls were talking about how Lindsay and Alyssa, Chihuahua face, you know what the hell I call Alyssa, didn't get along. I'm such a good person. Believe me, I'm a good person. That they didn't get along, and we knew that from the first time when they were in the bachelorette party. Supposedly, Lindsay, they were all talking about what faults each of them had, and Alyssa said she didn't have any faults, and Lindsay made a joke about self-awareness, and Jasmina was like, yeah, you talked way worse about that girl than just about self-awareness. And apparently there was something that happened between Jasmina and Lindsay where they were riding after some type of filming, and Jasmina was once again going hard for Alyssa. She went harder for Alyssa than she ever did for Michael. I mean, do you got a crush? Is there something you need to let us know, Jasmina? I don't know these people in real life, but something seems suspect. But apparently Lindsay was calling Jasmina aggressive, which is the irony because how she got Mike, and put Jasmina out of the car, and she said that was the meanest thing that ever happened to her. I cried tattooed tears. I could care less what the hell happened to Jasmina. That's how much I don't give a damn about Jasmina. All right. Then about the unfollowing, Alyssa said that she unfollowed her, but it was kind of weird because how did freaking Lindsay figure out that Alyssa unfollowed her in that quick a space? Is she like, okay, we just got in a fight, let me check and see if she still follows me? But Alyssa said that story wasn't exactly true. So basically it was a case of the mean girls, but I have no sympathy for Lindsay the Lush either because she's so nasty and dirty. And I told y'all ever since when she tried Olajuwon on the plane when he went to speak Spanish in Puerto Rico, and then she continued, and then she kept trying Katina, and then apparently she had beef with Steve and Noy, and was all involved in whether they were smashing or not instead of worry about Mark and Guppy. We weren't here for Lindsay, but what I do feel sorry about Lindsay for is Lindsay seemed to be the star of the show, but not for a good reason. It was beat up on Lindsay Day on this damn part 2 of the reunion. So, all right. So when the conversation turns back to Lindsay, she admits that her personality is big. It's called delusion, but claims she's receptive to comments and advice that comes her way. We all know that's a lie. She threatens to divorce and she leaves, or she goes and cusses I'm never gonna forgive her for the bathroom rant when she was talking about Mark's Mark's boys, his nuts being too small and him being bad in bed and how much money he didn't make and all this other stuff. So I know she's full of crap. And she said she didn't say it to him. She said it to the producer, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Anyways, Lindsay was mad at Alyssa because she said Alyssa was messaging Mark on Instagram, and Alyssa claims it was innocent, adding she messaged other cast members as well. And Jasmina and Katina and them defend Alyssa, revealing that there was some tension between Lindsay because, of course, Lindsay was talking cruelly behind Alyssa's back, and Jasmina says that Lindsay likes to stir the pot, and there's not exactly a denial coming from the woman in question. So Lindsay was like, "Bump y'all." Before heading into the next chapter finale, the episode leaves the ladies off to talk to the future of the men in their lives. So, with all that being said, I mean, we all knew that none of these matches were good. Freaking, what's the hell? Katina and her wig basically signed up to get abused for longer, right? With Olajuwon, and it's funny that the girls are defending Olajuwon now. They said that they're all actually friends now. It's like a bad summer camp, and I've had that experience before, where you have a shared experience, and now everybody's cool, and you back them up. So I've been there. So they showed a clip of freaking Tootie, aka Olajuwon, aka Isaac, saying that Katina needed to be a type of woman he wanted to be with. Like, you know how he kept coming for her, you're not woman enough. And they asked Jasmina what she thought, and Jasmina said that she cussed Tootie out a lot. But yeah, so if you were cussing out Tootie, aka Olajuwon, aka Isaac, I'm sure you were cussing out Michael too, but then getting in front of the camera acting like you didn't know why he wasn't talking to you. I see you for your works, Jasmina. Anyways, it was super crazy because they said that Lindsay and Jasmina said that what they didn't show is freaking Olajuwon. When he would get angry, he would catch himself and admit he was wrong and apologize. So it's like, I'm gonna act crazy, but as long as I'm apologizing, it's all good. Like I said, they asked the ladies about what they thought about Steve not having a job, and they pretended like they were all good. Katina said that if he could travel across the country, that he probably had big money, big bank. I told you guys gave Steve a pass because of his persuasion. But Lindsay said, she always said that Steve needed to get a job, and that's probably another reason that Steve didn't like Lindsay. So they played a whole montage. Remember, they were picking on Lindsay about how she made the other wives angry, and Kevin asked if her lack of filter had gotten her into trouble in the past. She said, of course, but she's open to learn, like I said, and loves feedback. We know that was crap. And like I said, she had beef with almost everybody on the cast. And the irony is she was super pissed off at Alyssa for texting Mark, but it turns out she was texting Olajuwon the entire time or whatever. So it was just all over the place. Nothing new came out, but it gave a little bit of enlightenment on why there was so much beef between the ladies. It was like Mean Girl spirit. There was lots of clicks, and I can't stand clicks. So it is what it is. So when they started talking to the guys, the main people they focused on was Mark and freaking Lindsay the Lush, as I call her. And one of the things he wrote, that they talked about was it was like a bro session, but Kevin busts right out talking about Lindsay. So all the guys made a point to say that Mark is a different person when he's not around Lindsay. And the guys were like, yeah, he has a completely different energy. And they said that they needed to defend Mark against Lindsay. And freaking Olajuwon was saying that I'm about to call her ass Karen. Karen was quick to point the finger. She doesn't take responsibility for her own actions. And it basically, all the men felt the same way about Lindsay. And they said that mostly when Lindsay was attacking Mark, she would talk about the mom and the grandma. And Mark the Guppy was like, oh, she's just trying to hurt me, because it wasn't ever relevant to what we were fighting about. And of course, they had a big blowout fight. And Karen, I'm going to keep calling her Karen, spit on his shirt. And he said he dealt with a lot of bullying growing up, but Lindsay is the worst of case of bullying that he's ever dealt with. And I agree. If she's spitting on you, that's crazy as hell. So he was literally afraid of her. And then they talked about all the bad things that happened while he was with her. If you watch some of my older videos, I'm like, she brought bad luck. She was nice to him, but she brought bad luck. Between the bed bugs, having to put his cat down, stuff with his mom, it was a lot of emotional stuff that happened with Mark. And Mark admitted that Lindsay did a lot of good and helped him out, but they just couldn't get past the fight. So, and the fights and the condescending low blows. And Steve, who cannot stand Lindsay, said that Mark was better off without her, and no one should have to go through what she put him through. I'm like, good Lord. So, and they also made a point that the experts saw how she was acting in the audition video. They knew she was going to be her verbal handful, so they're wondering why they even connected. Heck, when she was drunk and laying on a bench, when they first got married, I was like, what the heck were they thinking? Or whatever. But anyways, they move on. They ask Chris if he thinks that Alyssa is a good person. He says that's a loaded question. He basically said that she didn't handle the situation of being paired with someone she felt was a mismatch correctly, and it was unfortunate. We didn't get to know Chris really. But, basically how he handled himself on the show shows that he's a pretty decent guy, and he's been respectful no matter how crazy Chihuahua face Alyssa. If you go back to my original videos, I think that Chris and Alyssa actually look like brother and sister to me. So the fact that she acts like he's so fugly is really insane. Really, really insane. It didn't make any sense. So they start talking about Olajuwon's ideas of marriage, like having warm cooked meals. And basically none of them answered the question, and they kept it moving because Olajuwon is the sweetheart of the show. It's so obvious. So they're like, oh, he learned a lot. And Mike said he called freaking Olajuwon all the time. And called him all the time. And I'm like, that's who you're getting marriage advice from? It was a mess. It was a mess. And then they start talking about Katina throwing down in the kitchen. I find that very strange since she said she only could go to the grocery store and buy water and bread. But they said he's was being introduced to new foods, like lobster tails. And so she's a gourmet cook now. So next we have Kevin sitting down with the experts, and he asked them what surprised them the most about the couples. And they said they didn't expect Lindsay and Mark to be so combustible. I think that's lies. I don't really think they're picking the couples anymore. I think they're picking couples for ratings. Pastor Cal said he was surprised by Alyssa and Chris. And then Dr. Pepper was like, yeah, let me change my vote. I don't think most of us were surprised that she wasn't attracted, but what surprised us that she's living in Boston looking for a cowboy. And that whole thing was strange. And then Kevin asked if they anticipated that everyone would say yes on decision day, and experts was like, no. So they were at least watching the show with us. And Kevin just has a thing for O and Katina, and said they got off to a rough start, but when basically O looks back at himself, he said he looked crazy. And all the experts were like, oh, and they were so happy to hear that. Yeah, because he talked bad about y'all. He still threw some jabs in at the end of this whole thing. So he still feel the way he feel. Y'all just are downplaying how bad he was. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not here for Olajuwon at all. So he just Kevin just seemed to be bigging up Olajuwon. And then see. Yeah, then Kevin goes along and starts talking about how he's blown away that Dr. Pepper and her husband live separately. And she said that they were at a different stage in their life than the rest of these young folks. They already raised their kids, had their marriages. So, and they both love where they live. So they're like, why, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So they basically come and visit each other, probably smash, and then go back home. And then Kevin brings up Jasmina and Michael and asks what happened. And they start talking about that damn laptop. She needed to borrow his laptop. He said yes. She said okay. The day she needed it, she asked, "Are you still bringing it?" He said, "You never said you needed it."
Then it's a wrap for season 14.
Yeah, so pretty much they were all over the place. The story didn't make sense. She got upset because he didn't bring it, and then that's when he asked for the divorce. So basically they broke up over miscommunication. Like we all said, they didn't like each other. Jasmina explained when they keep saying that, let's roll it back because I wanted them to really last. It was the Yardi and Haitian mix, and basically she feels like he wasn't putting in any effort. She said she was doing all the work because she was texting him every day. I don't know what the hell texting is supposed to do. And she wouldn't let Michael talk. And apparently she said all he did was show up to her house one day and sit on her couch. So I think it's different love languages. So she felt like the texting every day was enough, while he wanted to actually have in-person physical quality time. And see, that boils down to the fact that Jasmina's used to having long distance relationships. And they couldn't make it through the arguments because they never had any feelings for each other. So everybody was turned off and everybody went about their business. And they both had different opposite sex roommates. Who knows what they had going on. So they never knew what to do to make each other happy. And so it was mess. Then they moved on to Chris and Alyssa, and they didn't understand why. Anyways, they didn't understand why they matched her up with somebody who was so wrong for her, because they looked at what she asked for and gave it to her, and she respectfully disagreed. She doesn't feel like she got what she asked for in the questionnaire. Especially the core values, because you remember I said there seemed to be some political thing going on. Like I don't know if Alyssa's a conservative or Chris is a conservative, but she like took that, and then remember the friend saying that he could be condescending. She took those things and ran. And so they went, and she tried. If you don't know, she actually tried to get her lawyer on the phone. To make sure that they didn't get at her if she didn't actually marry him, and I guess she couldn't get out of the contract. But anyway, she wants a compassionate, funny, giving, hardworking, loyal. And they're like, "Are you saying Chris is none of these things? Because you said you didn't get anything." And respectfully, she just felt attacked. She just felt attacked, and they were rolling their eyes, and she started crying. And she said she only sat down that day because she said they agreed not to attack her. And they're like, "We're not attacking you. These are just questions. Please answer them accordingly." Because everybody would like to know like what you're thinking. I mean, what was the reason to bring her back if she wasn't going to answer? But I think they took it real easy on her. But anyway, she wishes that it went differently. And they're like, you're saying we didn't give you anything you wanted. We just want to make sure you didn't walk away from this thing thinking otherwise. And Dr. Viviana was not here for her excuses. So the Pastor Cal came through and said, "Can I ask you something? Because I'm asking people based on their values. What are your core values? And what matters to you?" But she did. Okay, so she did say she was conservative and Chris is more liberal. That's what she didn't want to say out loud so people would come for her. So then they start arguing about people checking off boxes or whatever. It got really boring. So Dr. Viviana basically chastised her for prejudging people, and it's not a good look. And once again, Chihuahua Face said, I know it's a running joke, but I'm a good person, and I was not shown in a good light. And they said, no, whatever was shown was what you gave us. And you might want to rethink your narrow list of the person that you want to be with. And she says I have faith I will find my person. When the time is right, he will come. So I wish I would have gotten to see the experts. Everybody wishes that they could see the experts challenge her during the season, but she would have got more airtime, so they got her the hell out of there. So, but anyways, conclusion is that it wasn't going to work. So then they go to Mark and Lindsay, and basically go through why they broke up. So Lindsay's story is that it was her birthday. They spent 7 days remodeling his family home. And she said it was her birthday that weekend, and all she wanted was to have a dinner and a massage for her birthday. And he gave her an IOU, and 6 weeks went by, and she asked him if he was ever going to, make good on that IOU. And he said no, and she didn't like the fact that he didn't keep the promise, so she was done. So that was her story. His version was they spent a week getting the house ready because it wasn't up to standard. And he wanted to make her happy, but there was too many fights and too many threats for some reason. When it comes, basically, she's never going to tell the story that she cussed him out, and we know she did. So Pastor Cal is basically like, okay, so you both don't respect each other, and you both destroyed the marriage. And Mark starts tearing up, and Lindsay was rolling those eyes. And the pastor asked her how she felt about Mark's response, and she was about to go in, and Dr. Viviana tried to stop her from going in. She knew it wasn't going to be nice. And of course, Lindsay said, I don't feel like his tears are sincere. And Dr. Viviana was like, I knew it. And they asked Mark what he learned. He says, I need to speak up sooner and not wait until it's too late. Like, I'm not going to put up with that tone. So Mark looks like he's aged 15 years. I mean, his outfit was fly. I really like the sneakers. But he does not know how to handle issues, and there's no shark there. And he needs to learn how to show appreciation to people and not be smashing on the first night and then backing up, because that he was sending mixed signals. So it was all messed up. So, but they got out of that cluster. And Kevin starts talking about all the fun they had together, a group. They showed a dance party that they never showed us at the retreat. Then they showed the aftermath of when Lajuan and Lindsay got into that fight at the airport because he wouldn't speak Spanish. And that's how she got her nickname Karen, right? And then they start talking to Lindsay, and she said that she knew she liked the Lajuan from the beginning. What did I say, y'all? She wanted that BBC, but she wanted in an engineering body. So black engineers, watch out. But they said they learned from each other. And Tootie, aka Lajuan, aka Isaac, said he gave her advice in her marriage. And somebody had to do it because the experts were checked out. And I'm like, throwing shots. And then they showed a clip of Steve in the beginning of a marriage where they were talking to Lajuan and asked him what his name was, and he didn't even know her name, and he called her Janita, Jeanette, everything, wig, whatever. And the producers finally had to tell her his name. Katina says she now understands why he was calling her wifey, because they were both struggling with each other's name. I told you the only way that Katina could be disconnected to this jerk is that they smashed. Okay. Then they played the clips from the bowling alley where Mark and Lindsay got into that fight, and Karen went into the bathroom and just said, all that stuff I just said and about Mark. And Kevin said, your dad said you have a vicious tongue. Did you go too far? And she said, I feel bad about the delivery of what I was feeling. I should have used kinder words and a kinder message. Kevin asked her if she was working on not being so vicious in her delivery again. And basically doing what he's been doing the whole show, going after her and trying to check her. And it seems like they're trying to make up for what they didn't check her all season when she was all drunk and leaving cat hair everywhere. She said she would need a minute to think about how badly she taught him at the bowling alley. Kevin told Lindsay that she should probably apologize to Mark. He's sitting right there. She really didn't want to. And then the Lindsay whisperer, aka Olajuwon, had to tell her to take accountability. And she finally apologized for hurting his feelings and being so quick to anger. And Steve was like anything else you need to get an apology from Mark. It was like getting it while the getting's good. So we finally got her to apologize, but they continue to gang up on her. And Mark took a minute to think about it and then said he's good. And then they brought up the fact that she spit on his shirt. He said he was hurt by it. She said she didn't really spit on him, but she's sorry that the argument got to such a toxic level. Sorry that during a close contact fight that some spit may have landed on you. That was super disrespectful. Okay. All right. I'm from the islands. We know what spitting on people mean. Please don't spit on people from the islands. That's you rest to go at that point. Then they started talking about Dr. Viviana, giving them the adult play toys. And it was kind of funny because Olajuwon kind of told on himself that they may have smashed that night. And of course, last but not least, Olajuwon said that the stain on his undies were not boo-boo. Oh my God. So they all were a great cast family. Everybody got along except for everybody hated Lindsay. There were so many notes. It was so much, a whole lot of nothing, but Married at First Sight is done for me. But if you ask me to do the Where Are They Now, I'll drop in and do a couple minutes. But I appreciate you guys joining me for another video. Please go ahead and like, drop a comment. If you love my content, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the channel. Put in any requests. I'm here for you. Like I always say, love who loves you. May God bless you with everything that you need. And the CPS Scholar is out. I love y'all. I'll be back with Put a Ring on. Not Put a Ring. Oh, Lord. Yes, Put a Ring on it. I'll be back with Put a Ring on it.